everyone, Vita 650 here, back with how to play. Today we're looking at how to play this game, Downstream, which is a two-player river building game by Firestarter Games. Just came out recently from Kickstarter. Um, Pretty cool. Two players, takes about 20 minutes. It's a game, you can see it shows you're going to be laying out cards, building a river ecosystem, carefully arranging the right symbols on your side of the water. In a puzzling game of give and take, designed by Sebastian Bernier Wong and Daniel Mosley, however you pronounce that, apologize for butchering the name. I will be looking at the third game, Reforest, next month. We'll do one a month. And, yeah, it's a nice little game. So you get a bunch of little things here for the components. You get a river source. This is your starting piece. So you can see one side is south, one side is north, and there's two sides. You can start whichever side you want. It really doesn't matter. You get a canoe, which is going to go in this. We'll say it's a lake, or it could be an ocean, whatever it is. The designers are out of British Columbia, so it could be the ocean. You get these two little reference cards. You don't even mention it, but it gives you a breakdown of the cards, and you can look at it kind of horizontally or vertically. And it tells you for these green forest ones, there's 6 green spaces, 3 gray, and 3 yellow, etc., etc. They're not too important. You have 30 river cards. They are like this. They're double-sided. The only difference from one side to the other is this side is the black triangle indicating that it's pointing south. That's heading south, as you can see, and this way it's heading north. Now the cards have different terrains on them. See if I know what the terrains are here. If it says it doesn't really specify which each one is. You can kind of guesstimate. This is kind of, well, it's obviously kind of mountainy, rocky. This is kind of more sandy, I would say, or maybe it's plain. This is grass or forest, I guess, or grassland. And those are what you get. And all the cards have different symbols on them. For instance, forest, campsites, mountains, nature or animals. These are points of interest. And these are called tributaries. This is where you get a smaller river coming off the main river. And those are what you get. Now you can self them up. And you'll put these over here behind the river. Now, you also get in this game 30 public objective cards. They come in each of the different categories. You got the forests, the mountains, points of interest. Sorry, actually, this is wildlife, campsites, and influence, or tributaries, I guess is what these relate to. Well, actually, this is just influence, is what they are. And you get this one little card that's, but you can keep track of unplayed ones and played ones. So, cool. They recommend for your first game using these ones. This one is most cards stacked above a forest. Will give you 2 points if you have the most. If you have the most campsites next to forest, you get 2 points. If you have the most influence in the river, you get 3 points. That is, if you have the river flowing more towards your side than your opponent's. This is the most areas of mountains and the most wildlife next to tributaries. And you put these aside as public. You're going to read these out, make sure everyone understands. This is a 2-player game, so not too complicated, I guess. Put them here for now. You also have these 6 cards here. These are secret objectives. And what you're going to do is you're going to deal them out amongst the 2 of you. and you will look at them and you will each select one. This is 1 point per 2 campsites, 1 point per tributary, and this is 1 point per 2 mountains. My opponent has 1 point per 2 forests, 1 per 2 wildlife, and 1 per star, point of interest. So maybe they decide to go for the point of interest one, and we'll just discard these face down so you don't know what was selected. And then I would say, let's say I do campsites. Oh, you're going to keep these a secret, obviously, but I'll leave mine face up. Let me just adjust this a little bit. Oh, there we go. Oops. Spoiler alert for another game coming up. This is better. I'll have these here somewhere where you can, both players can see them. And the way this works is you're going to take turns drawing cards and placing them next to the river. When you take this card, you can flip it this way, you can flip it this way, whichever way you want. Since I'm working for campsites, maybe I put it like this. However, this does send influence towards the south. My opponent's going to go, and maybe he plays this one here. You always have to match at least one of the terrains. So I'm going to take this one. Another thing you can do is you can slide this underneath here. This gives me another campsite. Now, you cannot stack the same symbol under the same symbol. So if I couldn't stack this campsite. If I had another campsite, I can't stack it underneath there. My opponent's going to go. One thing you could do is if you don't like this card, is you can flip over this whole deck and see what's underneath there. When you do that, you have to move the canoe forward. Why is this important? Because right now, it's important because right now you can stack or slide cards underneath either one of these. But once this is over here, you can no longer stack a card underneath here. You can't slide it under there no more because you've gone past it. But we move the canoe up. If the canoe is here and you flip over the deck and you can't move it, then you simply just don't move it. But right now it could be moved. So my opponent ends up with this. He's going to have to play this facing my way. He decides to keep it like this so the influence is going towards him. Then he comes back to me. I'm going to play this like this. My opponent's going to go. Maybe he decides to play this one here. Actually, no, he's going to put this one like this. He's going to slide it underneath there. I will go. I will do this. You cannot slide something under a tributary, except maybe, no, you can't slide a tributary under a tributary. So this guy, see this one, he cannot put here because there's already a tree. So you'd have to play it here. And you just keep doing this, and I'm going to go, maybe I play this one here. Maybe this guy decides to flip the deck over and move that ahead, and he's going to play this one here. Now he could technically stack this under here if he wants to, so maybe he does. You can play it on either side as far as I'm aware. I'm going to go, I will put this campsite under here. He's going to go, he's going to play this one. Well, he's going to play it here. Why not? And then I'm going to go and I will play this one under here. He's going to go and he can play this one here. I just keep going back and forth like this. Maybe I play this one. I would love to get the campsite, but I can't. I can play this one here though. And you keep doing this until you go for this entire deck, so it's going to take up a bit of space. And then you will score points, see who gets all the points. So, most wildlife next to tributaries. It should have to be an extra tributary on either side. So, I got this one here next to this tributary, this one kind of across from this one. So I would get these 2 points because I have the most. He doesn't have any. wildlife next to tributaries. Most pairs of mountains. Let's see who gets this one. Nobody has a pair of mountains, so nobody would get this, but yeah, nobody would get this one, so it would just go out of the game. If nobody gets it, nobody gets it. If we both had a tie for pairs of mountains or whatever, we would share the points. Most influence on the river, you're looking for the most white or black arrows. Excuse me. Now, there's no tributary, there's none on the tributaries, but you can see here, white, excuse me, white, and black. So I have the most influence. No, sorry. White is pointing towards him, so he has the most influence, so he's going to get this. That simply indicates which side the water is mostly flowing towards, basically. Most campsites next to forests. I have a bunch of campsites. I don't have any next to forests. He does, I guess, technically. Now, symbols in the same stack are not considered to be next to each other, so technically he does not. Although, well, I don't know if this would be considered next to it. We'll just say nobody gets this one. And this is most cards stacked above a forest. So if you have a forest, you're looking at most cards above it. He has, with this one right here, he has one card stacked above the forest. I don't have any, so he would get this. So he's got 5 points currently. I have 2. I think he's going to win. But we do have these. Your personal objectives. I get 1 star, 1 point per 2 campsites. So I get 1, 2, 3, 4. So I get 2 more points. So I'm up to 4 points. He won. We only had to look at this, but he would get 1 point per point of interest on their side of the river. They have 1, so that gives him 6 points total to my 4 points. And that's the game. Now, again, you would have way more cards out there, and you'd be moving the canoe along. Once the canoe's over here, you cannot add cards behind it, so keep that in mind. That's the game. It's a pretty cool game. The cards are nice quality with wooden finishes. They're skinnier cards, so finding sleeves for them, if you're into sleeving cards, might be a little bit challenging. Probably not impossible, but more challenging. But it's cool. I do like it. Comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what you think. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.